have such a fun thrift trip for you today. I made 2 stops. The first stop was to a very put together, very clean, very decorated, very well organized thrift shop in a neighboring town run by some lovely ladies. The second thrift shop was in the sketchier part of town, was not clean, was not organized, and honestly, I think that things in there had been there for 40 or 50 years, and I was hesitant to stick my hand too far into any shelf. If you're new here, welcome in. I'm Kimberly. This is Studio Kimberly, where I curate vintage, fine art, and collectibles. I hope you'll consider subscribing before you leave and make sure you click that notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. As I said, I have a fun thrift trip today to 2 very, very different type of thrift stores. Before we get started with the thrifting, I want you to put in the comments down below, which thrift store do you think I found the most interesting item? The fancy one or the sketchy one? Most everything that you see today will be available on my online shop at StudioKimberly.com. Now let's go thrifting and I'll meet you right back here afterwards for the haul. We're walking into the hospice thrift store. $25% off entire store, excludes firm, boutique, and jewelry. Well, that's good news.
The black and white dress.
That's cute.
A little low neck, low cut for me in the front. Yeah.
Look, he's got a buddy over here. That's a really cute set. Let's see how much the other guy is. So he's 40. So purse is over here. Is that someone's initials? Oh my gosh. Look at those. Those are blingy Birkenstock knockoffs. They're $14. Those are funny. So there's artwork up on the walls. Mostly prints. Those 2 are $15 each. And then that one's $20. So here we are over in the housewares section. Noritake China, set of 8.
2025, less problems than 75. One of the things we're talking
$125. So that would be 25% off.
Crossroads News. It's being brought to you by Main Street Mobile. They carry the #1 selling zero turn.
Okay, so all items are $1 on that shelf. Look at this guy. He's cute. Like paper mache. Very light. There's a little shelf sitter. And you hang your stocking from it. More artwork. That one's 18. That's a print. I do like that image. Mirror over here. And then this is a really big print here. Not exactly my cup of tea. Glassware. It's kind of sweet. Look at this. What is that? Is that like a little incense dish? Boy, that's old. Look at that little sticker. I like that. This is like, feels like porcelain. You know? I don't see a mark on the bottom, but it might be underneath that tag. Milk glass, 14 pieces, $85 or $80. So I wonder if that's also 25% off. Are you a milk glass fan? Put it down in the comments below if you are. I don't know if it's one of my things. Florida. It's in case we forget where we are. It's kind of pretty. What is this? Not sure. Made in China. Here's a little single candlestick. I think I'm going to get that because I make sets out of those. So that one's going to come home with me. I'm trying to figure out what this is. I have no idea. Oh, you know what? Is it upside down? I don't know what that is. So this is loose. Oh, you know what? Here, hang on. Let me fix it. So it actually goes like this. So that sits on these two little pillars. And you put a candle right here. I think that's pretty. I like that. That's very different. I think that's pretty. And I'm wondering if you can, well, these are also open at the bottom. So I wonder if there's multiple ways you can do that one. Interesting. Stay tuned to the end. I'm going to do a full haul recap, show you everything I bought and what I paid for it and what I think the market value might be. Here's a cool old chair, $25. I don't need any chairs, but that's a cool one. Second stop of the day. I have not been here, and I just found it on my phone. I Googled thrift stores. So let's take a look. Oh, look at it. You can have a monk statue for $100. Very fun. Oh, look at this. A 1914 Victrola. $800. Very cool. Yep, that's the real deal right there. And you can get a grandfather clock. $100. And into the kitchenware section. This store looks like it's been here a long time. This is a little vintage pitcher. It's kind of cute. $2. That's not bad. This looks like a brass, oh, it's a brass ice bucket. Look at that. Wow. Let's see. That's kind of interesting. That's $3. That's kind of cool. I think this is an absolute treasure trove of things that have been here for decades. I don't know if anybody ever comes in here. Look at that. Oh, look at this. It's a cool old clock in like a little case. $18. So this is a vintage travel clock. Ooh, that is very cool. So it folds up like that. I kind of like that. Very cool. I wonder if it works. And right next to it, we have a llama. That's very cute. Oh, and look, there's stones on top. This is cool. I think, I'm not sure if this is wood or composite. How much is he? He's a little beaded animal statue for $12. That, you guys, that's kind of cool. Two cool things. Look at them. We could almost like just create a little decor setup right there. Okay, very fun. Look at this. This is a vintage ashtray. Amber glass. Honestly, I think my grandfather had that. Getting a little dark over here. Oh, that's sweet. It's a rocking horse. $12. Look at how cool this is. This is all carved wood. Isn't that interesting? I wonder what the whole point and purpose of it is. So this spins and then all these come out and then you could use it for a little party thing. Oh my gosh, this is really fun. So it's $20 for that whole thing. It's huge. It's really tall. Here's a very cool wine rack. Old rattan. Remember those? It's $5. And it's right next to a little embroidered chair. Honestly, this looks like a Mary Englebright illustration. I wonder if that's a licensing deal she did. And that chair was created from her artwork. Remember Mary Englebright? All right, so what do we got over here? Look at that little pig. Pretty cute. Candle holders. Lots and lots of stuff. Oh, here's a Jesus statue. Oh, and Mary right next to him. And Betty Depp. So she's $1. I guess this might be the religious section. Right by the towels. Glassware. Lots of books. Oh my gosh, look at this old shoe shine kit. I am not kidding you. We had this when I was growing up, and I used to shine my dad's shoes with what was in this kit. It was exactly like this. Now it's vintage. I guess it means I'm vintage too. Like beyond vintage. I might be antique by now. I love these plates. It's that cobalt blue. So, Orvieto. Is that Orvieto? That's Italy. So I guess these are Italian. They're really pretty. So they're $4 each. I don't need any plates, but if I did, I would really look at those. Those are very pretty. What's the name of these little snow babies? I'm blanking on the name. Somebody's shouting it at the screen right now. A little bit of Christmas still left over. So here is more Italian pottery. So this is Orvieto. Isn't that just gorgeous? I love the way it's painted. It's all hand painted. That's really pretty. And look, they have a coffee pot and a teapot and plates. Love that set. So I think this set is $45. Oh, look at this. Look at the pour spout on that. That's fabulous. Oh, I love that. Here's a little brass pedestal that will clean up really beautiful. And I like the fact that it's got some height to it. That really works in a little decor setting. Love that. Wait till you see that cleaned up. It's going to be gorgeous. Now that you've seen all the thrifting, again, which shop do you think I found the most interesting things in? The fancy place or the sketchy place? Make sure you put it in the comments down below. And then when I'm done with the haul, you can check and see if you were right. I found 2 pieces at the first thrift store. The really nice thrift store that was very clean and run by very, very wonderful ladies. The first is this little porcelain piece. I think this is a potpourri dish. Is that what you think it is? When I saw it, my mind immediately went to, oh, you could burn incense in there. But maybe that's because I'm a child of the 60s. This is a little ceramic piece, and you can see it's got all those holes in it. And I'm thinking it was originally designed for potpourri, because if you do burn incense in it, it's not going to injure the porcelain, but it probably will stain with smoke up top here. So that's just something to think about. One of the things I was so impressed with is that this is in perfect condition. None of the little petals or chipped or cracked. It's just really almost right outside of the box. Really sweet little dish. I think this was $4. It was a few days ago, so I can't quite remember, but it wasn't much more than that. So this is the first little piece, very sweet, that I found at the fancy thrift store. The second thing I picked up at the fancy thrift store was this pair of earrings, and I'm hoping that you guys can see them. They're just bubble earrings with a purple inlaid stone. Now, these are not fine jewelry. These are costume jewelry, and they're tiny. They're not very big at all, but they're very, very pretty, and they're in great shape. Here's why I'm so tickled that I picked these up. I saw them in the case, and you can see they're very, very tiny. I got out my loop. I couldn't really tell if they were anything or not, but I just sort of had a hunch. And so I think they were $3 or $4, maybe $5. And I went ahead and decided to pick them up. And I am so glad that I did, because when I got home and I took a good look at these are vintage Monet. And if you're familiar with Monet from the olden days, when we were younger, if you're anywhere close to my age, you'll know that Monet was a very popular costume jewelry line. Well, here's the funny thing. Monet is now becoming very, very collectible. And these are in excellent shape. And I was able to read the Monet hallmark on the bottom. While these are not valuable or expensive, I was just tickled to not only identify a Monet in the sense that I thought those are worth picking up, but then finding out they're an actual Monet when I got home. So really, really tickled with these. These again are just a round bubble earring with the inlaid stones, and those stones are actually purple. Really very, very pretty. Then it was off to the other thrift store, the one that I'll call the Sketchy thrift store. And oh my gosh, that place was a jumble with stuff. It was dark. It was a little bit overcrowded. There were things in there that I'm sure have not moved for years and years. It was dusty and that sort of thing. But I just stuck with it because I was so intrigued with the store and with what they had. So at that particular place, this is the first thing I picked up. You guys saw that in the thrifting video. This little guy is so very sweet and so very cool. He is actually encrusted with stones all over his body. And there are stones along the top. It's almost like a chakra system on his spine there. This is carved wood from India, and he's just in excellent shape. And look at his little butt. Isn't that cute? And I love the profile of him. He is just so very sweet. So I fell in love with this little guy. I believe he was $12 and went ahead and picked him up. I love him. He is so darling. It's going to be hard to let him go. The next thing I picked up at that same thrift store is this little brass apple. Now, it didn't look like this when I picked it up. This is much shinier than it was when I saw it. And, you know, brass pieces are very, very collectible. They're very popular. And apples are very popular too. Actually, they end up being teacher's gifts quite often. So I grabbed this apple and then I was absolutely tickled with what I found out. Listen, it's a bell. I love that. I absolutely love that. That just warmed my heart. So I was going to pick up this apple to begin with, but when I picked it up and it was a bell, I was so tickled. So this one ended up in my cart. Next up is this pedestal metal dish. Now, when I first saw this, it was completely black. You guys remember that from the video. I assumed it was brass. I don't think it's brass. I think it's bronze. Because I'll tell you what, I scrubbed this guy for quite some time trying to get that brass from underneath and it just wasn't coming out. So I'm pretty sure this is bronze and that's why the coloration is so deep and just so very moody. It's a vintage piece and you can tell by the felting on the bottom. This is aged felting and the patina on this piece is just so lovely. Now I did a little bit more work on the top than I did on the pedestal there. You can still see there's just a lot of beautiful patina and aging on this one. It really is gorgeous. And these pieces are nice because they give you some height on a tabletop or, you know, when you're styling. So you have a little height here and you could either put trinkets in the top or crystals, something I love to do, or a pillar candle. This is really just a great decorative piece. Next up is this silver bowl. I just love the shape of this bowl. This is a very traditional look. And you can see we've got shiny, shiny, shiny on the inside. It has a pedestal on the bottom. It actually has the old original vintage sticker on it. This is Webster Wilcox, over 1/4 of fine quality silver plate. And then it has another sticker right here. And I went ahead and left those on the bowl. So this again is a great decorating accessory, beautiful silver, just a classic piece. I fall for these all the time. They're just so lovely. Next up are these shot glasses, and I don't think I got this on film. Aren't these hysterical? Honestly, I can remember this from the 60s. These are little playing card shot glasses. So you can see that's the Jack right there. This one is the Queen right here, and they're in such good shape. These are so classic vintage. And you can see there's 6 of them. So the Ace of Clubs right here. Isn't that just so very fun? Ace of Hearts. I love these. These are just great. And then 2 more. I have the Jack of Diamonds and the King of Hearts. This is a set of 6 of these shot glasses. They're in almost new condition. They're just perfect. No scratches or chips that I can see at all. These were $1 each. So I ended up paying $6 for all 6 of them. And I've seen them online for about, $30, $35, something along that line. So cute. I love these. This brass tray, I couldn't pass it up. And look at the leaf detail on this. Isn't that just, it's so very pretty. Now I shined this tray up a little bit. So it has a bit of patina, but I put some extra elbow grease into the leaves so that it would pop up. It's very, very textural and beautiful. And you can see the shape of the tray right here. This is a big tray, so you can see my head. You can see what size the tray is. And just really, really lovely. Nice patina with a little bit of brass pop there. Great for decorating. I have a few more pieces that are really, really fun from the Sketchy thrift store. I actually can't wait to go back there. When I first went in, I thought, oh no, what am I doing here? Because I had just found it on my phone. I hadn't been there before. And I walked in and I thought, okay, I'll give it 5 minutes. And before I knew it, I was just completely sucked in because there was just so much. I actually hardly can't wait to go back. So I did find 2 pieces of jewelry at this store. And when I asked the gal up front if there was any jewelry, if they had jewelry, she goes, no, not really, not right now. And this store was one of those kind of thrift stores where everything on the front counter is just piled up. I don't know how they do any work. I couldn't be able to think with all that stuff. So everything was a jumble, but I did notice a little jewelry rack in between a whole bunch of stuff and things were piled on top of it. And I thought, you know what, I'll just go over there and take a look. Well, look at the first thing I found. Look at that. That is, I believe, sterling and onyx pendant. So this was very, very dirty and not attractive looking at all, and just a jumble in a mess on the counter over on the side. But I picked it up and I could tell by the weight that it was something. And I kind of felt the stone and I felt around and I thought, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and pick that up because I think that's something. Well, I came home and cleaned it up. It doesn't have any mark or hallmark on the back. I do think this is a very vintage piece from that little drop of metal right there. That's kind of indicative of a little older craftsmanship. So no marks on this one. But I do suspect that this is sterling with an onyx stone. Isn't that so pretty? And guess how much it was? It was $1. And then the second piece of jewelry I picked up were these earrings. Again, no marks on these earrings, which is why I think they were just sort of shoved over to the side and forgotten. That is a cat's eye stone in the middle. Again, no marks. I think this might be sterling, but I'm not sure. I know some things about jewelry. I am not a jewelry expert. That is my goal. So it is hard for me to say 100% I think that's sterling. That amount of weight that sterling would be is what I feel with these earrings. So really, really beautiful, very vintage because they've got that old clasp on them right there. And again, that stone, oh my gosh, you can see, and you can see in the back, the setting is open, so the light will reflect into that stone. So very pretty. I love these earrings. And again, they were $1. Now we're going to get into the final thing I found at the Sketchy thrift store, and it just about knocked me out when I did the research when I came home. I looked at it in the store, but I was misreading what it was. So the research I was trying to do on my phone wasn't effective. It is this set of pottery, and you might remember seeing that in the video. I love good pottery. I worked as a potter for a couple of years, so I understand the process. And I looked at these and I thought, you know what? Those really look like something. So I turned it over and looked at the mark on the back. Well, the mark said Orvieto. That's in Italy. I've been to Orvieto, so I was very familiar with that. But what I was reading this as is I was reading it as large. That looked like large to me. So I was Googling it, trying to do, an image search on it and not having any luck at all. And so I just walked away. I thought, I don't want to take on that kind of project. It had originally been $85 for this set of pottery, marked down to $45. And I thought, oh, I just don't want to take on that kind of project. So I walked away, but I kept going back and I kept going back. And I finally went back a third time and I thought, you know what? I think I just want to do it. Well, when I got home and did some online research on this particular set of pottery, I realized that that is not large, that is larse or learse. I don't know how you pronounce it in Italian. And this is a family-owned pottery studio, handcrafted, hand-painted pottery studio in Orvieto. It was founded in 1964 by the parents. The kids now run the studio, and it is incredibly beautiful, the work that comes out of that studio. And this set right here is from that studio. I don't know how it ended up in the Sketchy thrift store. I just really don't. So here is the gateway piece that made me absolutely fall in love with this set that I kept going back for. Look at this teapot. Look at that. That is all handcrafted and hand painted. Isn't that just gorgeous? I tell you what, I was just crazy about it. And I should have caught on in the store because it has the same markings on the bottom of this one. I thought that it said large because the plate was large. I should have realized, no, that is the name of the studio. So this teapot, oh, look at what got me was the spout. Look at that spout. Isn't that just, so gorgeous. So this was the gateway piece that really made me pick up this whole set. But it doesn't stop there. It has a matching coffee pot. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at that. This is all handcrafted and hand painted. Isn't that just beautiful? And then with the coffee pot is the cream and sugar. Again, they're all marked. This one has the stamp on it. So here's the cream and sugar. I am so in love with this set. I can't even tell you. There's something about handcrafted ceramics that is so delicious that, it's almost irresistible for me. So here's the cream and sugar. It came with 2 salad plates or appetizer size plates. So these are the smaller size plates, and there's 2 of them. It came with 4 soup bowls. Look at these soup bowls. Aren't those just gorgeous? They're just beautiful. This set is so good. The soup bowls are terrific, with the exception of one of the soup bowls has a little chip in it, but it was repaired. So you can see the chip right there, but pretty good job on the repair. So there's 4 soup bowls, and then there's 5 dinner plates. And here is the dinner plate right here. Isn't that gorgeous? With the markings on the back. So very pretty. So what I'm going to do with this set, because it's not a full set of pottery, I'm going to go ahead and split it up. So I'm going to sell the teapot, and then I'll sell the smaller plates and the larger plates individually, most likely either for a decorative item or just something to add into a dishware collection for an appetizer plate or something like that. So the teapot, which to me is almost the superstar of the whole collection, that'll be available. The plates will be available individually. The bowls will be available as a set of 4. And then the coffee pot with the cream and sugar, I think keeping this together is really the right thing to do. So if you're interested in what the treasure of the day is, it's absolutely this set of handcrafted pottery from Orvieto, Italy. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. I had such a good time going to two very different thrift stores and having two very different experiences. I hope you found this fun and entertaining. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Again, most of the things that you've seen today will be available at my online shop, if they're still there, at StudioKimberly.com. I would love to have you stop by. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.